Give it up for candidate number 14, Gwen Orquior.
Do not worry because you also made candidate number 1, Leah Makaga.
Tonight is your night. Candidate number 12, Asha Jump.
You are also part candidate number 36, Tracy Maureen Perez.
All right, 9 more to go. Next spot goes to candidate number. We want to hear you guys. Candidate number 26, Johan Flores.
Today is your lucky day. Candidate number 11, Megan Campbell.
You can read candidate number. Taking the spot, candidate number 6, China. And Bogdan.
You made it candidate number 18, Tatiana Austria.
You can breathe. Candidate number. We have candidate number 19, Asha and Shannon.
You made it to the top 24. Candidate number 23, Shannon Monzano.
Ladies and gentlemen, we only have 3 more names on the list. Let's give it up for candidate number. We want to hear you guys. Candidate number. Candidate number 30, Julie Perez.
You made it candidate number 25, Danica Delia.
And last but definitely not the least,
Si Janelle, di ba tinatawag?
come on down, candidate number
Janelle Lewis.
Our last name on the list. It's a bit hard to read. Who do you guys think? Give it up for candidate number 4, Janelle Lewis.
There are 23 ladies on stage. May kulang pa na isa to complete the top 24.
Yes, kulang pa yan. Pero malalaman natin yan na so the final member of the top 24 will be known when Miss World Philippines 2021 returns.
Right now who are struggling with online school.
For all the students who are going through the online classes, as a licensed teacher, I understand the struggle of learning through this new normal because it is something that we are not used to or familiar. But I hope that you hang on there and make sure that we all, as a one nation, let's all make an effort to eradicate this pandemic so that we can go back to our face-to-face classes. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Let's all hang on together. Miss Shannon Monzano. Now, there are you.
I'm fine. I'm very excited for today.
Wow, and you're in a profession that is close to my heart, and that is journalism.
Yes, I am.
So, Ganyan, I'd like to give you a chance here tonight. If you are a reporter reporting about tonight's Miss World competition, I'd like to ask you, Daniel, to you here right now, what are the highlights of tonight's competition so far?
RJ, sa mga oras na ito ay tuloy-tuloy na nga ginagawa ang Miss World Philippines 2021. Sa Subic Bay, Zambales, talaga naman nagpasing laban, nagpatagugan at nagpagandahan ang 45 na candidates ngayong gabi. Pero alam mo RJ, sa totoo lang, hinihintay rin ng ating mga supporters, mga fans sa iba't ibang kandidata ang isa sa tinatawag nga nilang mamahayag sa loob ng kandidatang ito. Alam mo, meron kaming engineer, merong estudyante, pero alam mo, meron ding journalist ngayong gabi. Yun nga si Gail Krishna. Tingnan natin kung siya nga ang mag-uwi ng gabi natin.
Baba, husay.
Balik sa'yo, RJ.
Maraming salamat. Mukhang mawawala ng trabaho ngayong gabi. Ganyan, Krishna, number 43. Maraming salamat, Ganyan. And I can see right now, as I look at you here, Anne, tonight, you've got the physique of an athlete, and I realize that you're actually a football player. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, I want to ask, as a football player and as an athlete, how did that contribute to your competition here right now? How did it make you a better candidate for Miss World Philippines?
Well, being in the pageantry and athletics as well is similar because it takes discipline. And I'm so proud that we 45 candidates had that discipline to show to the world our purpose and that we make it a good world one at a time. Even the small change can do big. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, and we hope you score big here as well tonight. Round of applause, please, Miss Anne Palmares. Moving on with candidate number 10, Michelle Arseo. Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm fantastic tonight. How are you doing?
I'm fine too. Thank you for asking. And you've got a very important profession, especially right now during the time of the pandemic. You are a model and a bartender. Okay. Now, I want to ask you a question. If you were to make a cocktail for me right now, what cocktail would that be and why? Especially as we celebrate Miss World Philippines.
Well, there's a lot to choose from. There's a lot of different varieties. And I think you're a man of taste, but I think I would go with red wine for you. It's very simplistic, but there's so much depth to it. There's so much variety, and you can go and drink it in all sorts of environments, either a social gathering with your friends, if you want to unwind at home, absolutely anywhere. And it's absolutely delicious. It's sweet and a little bit spicy with some undertones. And I think that was the best option.
I didn't realize how deep and rich red wine was until I heard from you. Again, a round of applause, please, Miss Michelle Arseo. Moving on, we've got candidate number 27, Trisha Martinez. Trisha, I understand that you belong to a very important profession, especially right now. She is currently taking up dentistry. Now, Trisha, I've got a very important question. I've got young kids. It's very hard to go to the dentist here right now, especially during this new normal. What would you advise kids, teenagers, parents right now who have to make sure that they maintain their kids' dental hygiene at home?
I would tell those children that I am once like them. I grew up having crooked teeth and it affected my self-confidence. And I would tell those child that please do take care of their teeth. And there are dentists who are willing to help them, and I am one of them. And I want them to feel the same empowerment that I felt when I had that confidently beautiful smile. Thank you.
Thank you so much. A frontliner dentist right here, Trisha Martinez, candidate number 27. Moving on, you've got candidate number 41, Samela Aubrey Godin. Samela, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, RJ. I'm good. How about you?
I'm very excited to ask you a question because I found out that you are not only a professional teacher, but you are also an events coordinator, and events is very close to my heart, being a member of the events industry, particularly the wedding industry. So I want to ask you, how would you deal with a runaway bride in your wedding if that ever happened to you?
RJ, you know what? There's no perfect wedding. We're not capable of what's gonna happen upon that situation. But it's a tough situation. But what I would offer to my runaway bride is a shoulder to cry on and an ear to listen. I will not judge her. And I will just listen to her, not just a coordinator. I will talk, understand, not just a coordinator, but also a friend that's willing to help.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Samela. It's very good because at least they can't run away very far during a pandemic.
I hope so that I will not encounter that.
Okay. Again, thank you so much, Miss Samela. Candidate number 41. Moving on quickly. We've got candidate number 8, Emmanuel Vera. Miss Vera, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us over here. Now, I understand you are a very talented individual. You are both a singer and an actress. What I want to know is, how does both your careers in singing and acting complement each other? What have you learned from singing that you bring to acting, and what you bring from acting into singing?
You know, singing and acting are both very fulfilling to me as someone who is, I feel like I was created to entertain and to perform. And in order to entertain effectively, you must bring a degree of authenticity. In both music and in acting, you offer yourself, a vulnerable being for other people to not only relate to, but also offering them an outlet of emotions that they can listen to, songs they can listen to, movies that they can watch repeatedly that help them to process through the various emotions and seasons in their lives. So basically, what they have in common for me is number 1, fulfillment, and number 2, relatability to people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was quite a mouthful. I love it. Authenticity and vulnerability. Again, thank you so much, candidate number 8, Emmanuel Vera. And now we have Kathleen. I like this one. Kathleen, good evening. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine as well. Kathleen, I understand you work as a commercial model, but you're also a staunch supporter of the CNAP Foundation. Now, please tell us a bit more about CNAP Foundation and why the CNAP Foundation advocacy is so important for you.
Well, I think education is a right of every single human being, and especially of that of a child. I've experienced firsthand as I grew up living in Aklan, and I attended public school, and I can see children not attending schools because of poverty. So my family and I started a not-for-profit organization called the CNAP Foundation, and we aim to uplift economically the community by providing free access to books and educational resources. And by that, we created a library. So that is why I'm a staunch advocate for education as well.
What a wonderful advocacy. More power, especially during this time of the pandemic. A round of applause, please. Miss Kathleen Paton, candidate number 38. Moving on, you've got candidate Miss Anna Perez. Very interesting. I love your background. You are a CPA, a certified public accountant, and a professional model at the same time. Two careers that usually don't seem to gel together.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, you know what, I took up accounting, and for me it was truly nerve-wracking, and sometimes it cannot be interesting. what do you love about being a CPA that gives you the passion to be a CPA day in, day out?
Well, you know, it is actually hard for me to become a CPA. It was such a huge struggle, but then it became my passion because I know that I could serve a huge audience. I will be able to serve the public, and that is what I am doing right now. I am of service not just for my clients, but also for the people that my clients serve, and that is something that I really treasure about being a CPA.
Thank you so much. Service and beauty with a purpose. Again, thank you so much. Moving on, we've got candidate number 14, Gwendolyn Fornio. Gwendolyn, good evening. How are you? Now, the interesting thing now, what Gwendolyn, let me tell you, she is a commercial model and she is also an English and a French teacher at the same time. And she hails from Himamaylan City, Negros Occidental. Now, first of all, show us a bit of French here right now. Can we hear a bit of French? Maybe you'd like to greet everybody here in French?
Bonjour, ça va tout le monde? Je m'appelle Gwendolyn Fornial.
What? And aside from that one, you know, we haven't had a chance maybe to know or have been to Himamaylan in Negros. If we were to visit your hometown, where would you bring us and why?
Thank you for that question. Well, Himamaylan City is a very close place to my heart. Growing up abroad, I was always traveling, and the place that I would take you to is the beach. Because I love traveling, but there was nothing better than going to the beach and relaxing, taking a breeze, and Himamaylan City is the perfect place for that. And it's a place full of diversity and multicultural places. Thank you.
Merci, thank you so much to Gwendolyn. We have next our candidate number 1, Leah Macapagal. Leah, thanks so much for joining me over here. So, Leah, from what I understand, you've always been candidate number 1, coming out first in almost during the whole Miss World pageant. Now, some people would say that being candidate number 1 can be a disadvantage, like if you were in the Squid Games and you were candidate number 1, that wouldn't be good. But then it can also be an advantage at the same time. How did you find being candidate number 1 all the time? Was it good for you? Was it bad for you overall?
Well, to be honest, being a candidate number 1 is a tough job because it would always be the point of comparison. You have to have a recall to all the people who are watching, especially to all the judges. It might be a disadvantage for some, but for me, this is my winning strategy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, number 1. And moving on, we've got candidate number 12. We've got Natasha Young, all the way from Tacloban City. Natasha, good evening. How are you?
If I'm being honest, I'm hungry.
Hungry? I guess we all are here tonight. Don't worry, after this one, we're gonna eat our hearts away. Okay, Natasha, again, is from Tacloban, and your national costume was actually one of the crowd's favorites. Can you tell us a bit more about the national costume that you wore, and what was your inspiration behind that costume?
Well, for those people who don't know the concept of my national costume, it is actually called Taclob. It is the origin name of Tacloban, and it is also a bamboo captation for shrimp, crabs, and fish that were used by our natives before a long time ago. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Your dress must be just as hungry. Maybe you can eat the dress later on here tonight with the crabs and the prawns and everything else.
I really hope I get dessert.
Thank you so much, candidate number 12, Natasha Young. And moving on, candidate number 36, Tracy Maureen Perez. Hi Tracy, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited for tonight. Finally, the coronation is pushed through.
Yes, I'm very excited also to ask you this question because again, you've got a very interesting background as a sales and operations specialist. But more than that one, you probably hail from Cebu. Now, Cebu has produced so many beauty queens. What is it about Cebu or Cebuanos and the Cebuano character that produces so many beautiful women with character and with passion and purpose?
Well, I think that a lot of people would agree that we Cebuanos are beautiful. In fact, all 3 Cebuanos who joined Miss World Philippines are part of the top 25. And they are right there with me. And we are
doing this not just for ourselves. We do have a purpose, and knowing that we are here standing not just for ourselves, but also for our families, for our friends, despite all the setbacks, despite all the failures. I have lost a lot of battles in my life, but I always told myself that I should get back up. And even during the pandemic, I would like to bring it up that Cebu is one of the provinces and cities that has been badly hit by this pandemic. But our province and city has stood our ground, and we are getting back on track. And that is what we can offer as Cebuanos. We are resilient, and we continue to fight.
Thank you so much, resilient. Doesn't matter how many times you get down, how many times you get up again. Daghang salamat.
Daghang salamat.
Thank you so much. A round of applause, please. Moving on, candidate number 26, Joanne Flores. Hi, Joanne. How are you?
I'm doing extremely great.
That's fantastic to hear. I love that you're here right now, and I love the confidence you bring over here. And I understand, ladies and gentlemen, hindi lang siya isang scholar ng bayan, but she is a magna cum laude graduate of BS Tourism in UP Diliman. And because of that one, I want to ask you a question about the state of our hotel and tourism industry, which currently right now is in the doldrums. What would you recommend to our Department of Tourism or to our tourist people, the tourist industry working there right now? How can they get through this very trying time as they await, I guess, full vaccination? What can they do right now to keep afloat?
Well, definitely this pandemic put so many bumps in our life, especially in the tourism industry. Many lost their jobs, many companies closed, but these shall come to pass as well, just like other adversities that we experience in life. For the tourism industry, I do really think that it is already time for us to move forward and move on. We are able to adapt already to the changes that this pandemic brought upon us, and it is time that we open our doors to everyone for them to see the beauty of our country.
Thank you so much. I like that. Adapt here right now as we adjust to the new normal. Maraming salamat, Joanne Flores. Now we've got candidate. One of them, she is a model slash actress slash host slash certified teacher slash life skills coach. Is that right, Megan? Wow, oh, what a package Megan is here altogether. But Megan, here's my question for you tonight. Given all these things, what is the most important life skill that you can teach a beauty contestant? Because you've met your other contestants, you'll meet contestants in the future. What advice would you give them so that they can prepare themselves for this very challenging competition?
I'm so grateful to be here and to have met these beautiful women behind me and standing with me. They've taught me so many lessons. So coming in here, I didn't know if I was capable of achieving the success that I may have desired. However, I realized that the experiences I've had in my life has molded me into who I am today as a woman. Good, bad, and I think that when you accept all of those memories and you are fully yourself, you're free to be yourself, unafraid, weird, goofy, whatever it is that you want to be. Because people will find that you love and that you care and that you have compassion. And I think the most important thing is it's about us. All of us. We're all in this together, and never forget that.
Thank you so much. So really, it's an inclusive environment. Thank you so much, Ms. Megan Campbell. And moving on, we've got candidate number 6, Shaila Reportera. Wow, we've got another dentist and another Cebuano, proud Cebuano here as well. Now, another question. Now, going back to Cebu, I want to ask you another question, Shaila. You were the festival queen in Cebu. What exactly did it mean for you to become a festival queen? How did you get there? And how did that also help you prepare for this very challenging Miss World competition?
That is correct, RJ. I am Shaila Reportera. I hail from Cebu, and I was Cebu Look Festival Queen 2018. Now, we all know that we are celebrating Cebu Look in honor of our beloved Santo Niño, and it has taught me about my faith and devotion. And this is what I brought here with me tonight while competing at the Miss World Philippines 2021. I know that I could not be here on this stage without my devotion and my faith in Santo Niño. I would just like to share a phrase from the Bible that we can achieve anything only if we believe. And tonight, I believe I can achieve my dreams. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. God is good all the time. Thank you so much, Miss Reportera. Moving on quickly, candidate number 18. We have Tatiana Austria. Hi Tatiana, how are you tonight?
I'm grateful to be here. Good evening, RJ.
Thanks so much. Just give me a few moments as I invite my friend holding the teleprompter to help me out here tonight. High school. And when you just finished high school, let me tell you this, she didn't only just finish high school. She finished high school with flying colors. She was a consistent honor student and achieved so many things. So my question for you is right now, what do you plan to do next? Do you plan to go to college? And if you go to college, what degree do you plan to pursue and why?
I'm actually in college right now. I'm taking a Bachelor of Physical Therapy in the University of Santo Tomas, and I'm enjoying it. I actually try to balance my studies and achieving my dreams. Like tonight, I am standing in this glamorous dress, grateful for my designer, grateful to be here and speak to everyone. While tomorrow I have an anatomy lecture class at 4 to 7 p.m. and I'm just incredibly blessed to have this opportunity to be here and to represent students like me who struggle during online classes but continue to fight for their dreams. Let's make the days count, everyone.
Thanks so much, and there are many certified teachers you can speak to here as well.
Thank you so much, RJ.
Thank you so much. Next one, we've got candidate number 19, Miss Asha Gutierrez. Asha, good to see you again, Asha.
It's always nice to see you, RJ, especially at work.
And Asha, you know what? You're in a career that's very close to my heart, which is actually creative writing. But you were also an HIV counselor, and more importantly, you are a health tech entrepreneur. Now, what exactly do you mean by health tech, and what type of business are you doing in health tech, and why is it important to you?
Health technology are health tech systems that are provided through devices, the internet, or any form of technology. Just last year, we had the pandemic and we had the problem of having medical healthcare. So we created, along with healthcare professionals, I founded Healthcare Innovate, a corporation that brings medical care straight to the comfort of your homes. And apart from that, RJ, I am part of the COVID-19 task force of Taguig City.
Oh, fantastic! Fantastic.
And we created trays in which we help the citizens get their free vaccination and have their free testing every time and then. Those are examples of health technology.
Fantastic, and I can see as an entrepreneur solving a pain point, and that's what's the most important thing. Again, thank you so much, Asha Gutierrez. Now we've got candidate number 23, Shannon Monzano. Wow, you know, I couldn't tell, but you know that Shannon over here, this lovely Shannon, is the youngest, and not only the youngest, but the tallest among most of our candidates here today. Now, you know what, sometimes Shannon coming in, when you're the youngest, sometimes it can feel a bit intimidating, admittedly, because, you know, you're going up with people who are very, not just mature in terms of age, but also veterans in competing in beauty competitions. What do you think your youth brings for you, or why is it an advantage for you as you entered this world?
My age was my advantage at the very beginning because knowing that I don't have any pageant background, it's hard to make a mark. But I did, because I am your youngest and tallest candidate, and I am here to represent the youth, that we are very empowered, resilient, confident, and we are purposeful enough to stand up on this stage and to be a representative that I am a new breed, a Filipina beauty queen, that there's no age limit. I can be a representative in the international stage because I know that I am a woman of purpose. Thank you.
Spoken like a woman of beauty with a purpose. Again, thank you so much for that one, my dear. We've got candidate number 30, Julie Tarayo. And Julie, please join me over here. Julie, now again, this is another profession again close to my heart because I'm an entrepreneur and I understand you are also an entrepreneur and a coconut trader at the same time. Now during these tough times, many people were forced to become entrepreneurs. Can you tell these people out there who want to become entrepreneurs, what kind of mindset, or what kind of characteristic they need to survive with their business during the new normal?
Well, hi RJ, good evening. So I just want to say to all the aspiring entrepreneurs to really be strong, because with business, there's always risk. And it's inevitable to have risk. You might lose your money, you might lose everything actually, but with business, you have to be really strong and you have to have a mindset that whatever happens, it will be okay. So as long as you look for solutions, especially with my coconut business, actually, I just want to tell you that I have a copra business. Copra is what we call in Tagalog, or waray, because I'm a waray mon. It's a dried coconut which we get our oil from. So I have a lot of employees, and I want to encourage people, or the youth especially, like me, because I'm only 25, that don't be afraid to try businesses, because there are many ways to make it work. There are many ways to make it successful. You just really have to have a good mindset, and you always have to be positive, and you always have to be realistic as well, because it doesn't take positivity. It really needs to have, you have to have a realistic mindset for everything in business.
Thanks so much. Positivity and pragmatism. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Ms.
much.
Julie Tarayo. Now we've got candidate number 25, Danica Delia. Hi Danica, how are you?
Hi, I'm enjoying every single moment of this journey.
Fantastic. I hope you're going to enjoy my question for you. Now, mga kaibigan, Dan is a flight attendant, okay? And as many of you know that, of course, with the onset of the pandemic, there weren't many flights around. So many of your colleagues had actually lost their jobs or transferred their jobs, have to do something else, hoping one day to return to flying again. What is your advice for your fellow colleagues who have right now had to leave their jobs, which they love so much, but want to return in the future?
You know, the aviation industry have been greatly affected during this pandemic, and a lot of my colleagues got retrenched, and I empathize with them. I would like to advise them that life should go on, and I would like to take this opportunity to speak for them. I would like to encourage those who are in a position to please support the aviation industry, because we are trying to survive this pandemic, and we will continue to raise the flag, and I will continue to be committed in serving the Filipino people, and please to support the aviation industry. We need it a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's continue to raise the flag in whatever profession that we are in. Thank you so much, my dear. Moving on to our last two. Janelle, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Now, Janelle, I understand that you were multi-talented. You were actually a product of the talent search of GMA. You play the guitar, you play the ukulele, and I understand that you're also half British. You've got British ethnicity and Filipino ethnicity. How did both of your ethnicities make you the woman that you are today? Your artful combination of a Filipino and British background.
You know, I can say that I'm a Filipino at heart. Being raised and born here in the Philippines has been the greatest experience, honestly. My mom and dad met in Manila and then they transferred to Pampanga. I can say I'm a Filipino at heart because I have it in my blood, and not only that, but I have learned the manners of saying po and opo. And honestly, I feel like that's one of the biggest manners that every individual has to learn as a Filipino, because it shows respect to elders, but not only to them, but also to every individual. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, Ms. Janelle Lewis. And finally, last but not the least, Ms. Joy Mea Barcoma.
Hi, RJ.
Hi, how are you? Since you're the last one, let me give you a mathematical question. No, I'm just joking. Just double checking, okay. So, over here, I understand you are a mental awareness advocate and a graduate of broadcast communication. Let me ask you a question about mental awareness, especially right now, that many of those people, especially your age and younger kids, like my children, are suffering greatly staying at home without any socialization, getting very depressed, but we can't tell the signs of it. What can you share right now to people your age and to people younger than you as to how to cope with mental health during these troubling times?
Thank you for asking me
with that, RJ, because I love to talk about mental health. And for those people who are suffering, it is important to be self-aware. It is important to know that it is okay to be alone. It is okay to feel unsafe. It is okay to be not okay. And that's alright because there are lots of people who are willing to listen to you. And you just have to know it within yourself because the change starts within you. After all, we're here not just to make a difference, but to be the difference. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Be comfortable with your uncomfortability. Again, thank you so much, my dear. And let's give